year 2025. Now, this expenditure in appropriation, if approved, then will present a budget or will provide funding for the government's expenditure in the first quarter of the year 2025. This expenditure in appropriation is also or commonly referred to as the mini budget. Parliament currently is sitting and is taking the votes of proceedings and, of course, whatever amendments that may persist. And so let's join that feed and enjoy proceedings from the floor of the House.
To add, that's the report on budget appropriation or advance on appropriation. And, Mr. Speaker, the items as you earlier stated, the third reading of the EPA bill and report on the budget committee, I so submit.
Yes, honorable members, the business report has been presented by the Deputy Majority Whip for and on behalf of the Chairman of the Business Committee, who is the Majority Leader. Any comments? Honorable members, in the absence of any comment, we take it that the business, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I realize from Roman 4 that there are certain reports that the budget committee is supposed to present between the period of January to March 2025. I want to know, without the composition of those committees, we can anticipate the presentation of those reports by the committee. And whether, I'm reading from the business statement.
Yes, honorable members, the business committee report as presented is duly adopted by the House. So we'll be guided by this report as we go along. With this, I will want to the House to be reconstituted into a closed sitting. There's some urgent matter that we have to discuss before we continue with the business of the day. So, honorable members, close sitting, please. Close sitting. Marshal.
Well, we just came back from Parliament where the Speaker, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagben, has reconstituted the House into a closed sitting for some urgent business of the House, which business we suspect is not for public consumption just yet, for which reason the Speaker has called for that closed sitting. We'll be going back when the House reconstitutes for an open forum, and of course where the Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam is scheduled to deliver the mini budget for 2025. The first quarter of 2025. Now the expenditure in advance of appropriation, when presented by the Finance Minister, and if so approved by the House, will then provide funding for the first quarter of 2025. Recall that there's a government in transition. The Mahama-led administration is set to take over from January 7. Already 2 transition teams have been engaging regarding the official transition of power from the NPP government to the NDC-led administration. And so clearly it is expected that this bill or this expenditure in advance of appropriation is presented by the Finance Minister and approved to provide funding for the government for the first quarter, to allow the government, of course, appreciate the resources of the state in order to come up with its own budget, of course, for the rest of the year 2025. Recall that this presentation has delayed due to the absence of the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, in the last sitting of the House, where he was equally scheduled to make that presentation. The Speaker had caused to adjourn the House to December 2 to allow for that presentation. The minority had raised concerns with the delays and even pointed accusing fingers at the NPP government of deliberately delaying the presentation process. However, the NPP or the majority caucus in the House had disputed this particular delay. Well, today being December 2, the House has reconvened and the Finance Minister is scheduled to make that presentation. However, just after taking the votes of proceedings, the Speaker, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagben, has reconstituted the House into a closed sitting to allow for some urgent deliberations regarding business of the House. We saw there Alex Tete John Ubua, the second whip of the majority side, presenting the business for the business committee report, of course, which highlighted the presentation by the Finance Minister. So it is indeed expected that the Finance Minister will make that presentation of the mini budget in the House, but we are waiting to see the outcome of that closed sitting and, of course, the presentation of the mini budget. This is Channel 1 Television. My name is Nanatufo Boateng. Stay with us because we'll be taking you back to Parliament when the House reconvenes for an open sitting. And, of course, we get to feed on the presentation by the Finance Minister. Keep watching Channel 1 TV.